Alright, now what he's working on with a 3/16 Allen is there's two bolts up here. We're going to remove this dash panel off the top of this tank. Alright, he's got that one out. And these do have little washers on them, so be careful. And we're just moving on down. There's a third one right down here. Alright, now with those bolts out, he can go ahead and lift and remove this dash panel. Of course, it's got wires underneath we're going to have to disconnect for your speedometer and tachometer. Alright, and we're up underneath the dash panel now, and he's just using kind of a trim tool to pop that out. It's just kind of a little wire organizer, so to speak. And then there's two plugs here, and they just got tabs on each side, and he's just using a screwdriver. Kind of pop over the side there. There we go, got that one out. He'll do the other one just like that. And with that off, we're free now to remove that dash panel. All right, just a couple more things to disconnect. There's just another plug down here, so we can get we're eventually going to get this tank off is what we're doing. Just a screwdriver, and he's popping the top there, and then we've got you can look up in there, we've got a fuel vent line that he's going to pop off. And there we go. Everything's free from the top now. All right, and there's just a bolt on the back holding this tank, and it's a 1/2" wrench, and he's got a 1/2" socket on the other side. I'm just going to back this rear tank bolt out. All right, with a 1/2" wrench and a socket on the other side, he's just going to take that front tank bolt off. Okay, so now this is just a quick release sleeve he's working on for the fuel tank, the main fuel line. You just pull up on that sleeve like so, and then it comes right out the bottom there. It'll leak a little fuel, so just make sure you have a rag down like he had. So what we're going to do, this tank actually has a crossover line on the front, and so obviously you'll spill fuel. You got to take some precautions here. So what we're going to do is clamp the line. You just got a pair of vice grips. Don't worry, you can use vice grips. You could damage your line. It's no big deal, guys. There are special fuel line clamps if you want to use those. We don't really care. We always keep plenty of cheap 1/4" fuel line, so if it does damage it or something, and we'll just replace it. It's so cheap. So he just clamped it right there for now. All right, so here's our setup. We've got a 5-gallon gas jug over here, empty. And then, of course, you can see up there, I've already showed you, we've got our fuel line clamped right over here, okay? The crossover, I should say. And so what Lurch has here is more, we keep it on hand, it's just 1/4" fuel line, okay? And he's gonna set this up, set it in the jug, because we're actually gonna drain this tank, because it's actually full, this tank. And then he's gonna set it up and get it ready to go, because you'll see in a second, we're gonna pop the line, and then we're immediately gonna attach that coming out right there on that little nipple out of the tank. It'll be all one motion. Yes, you are gonna lose some fuel. There's no perfectly clean way to do this, but we'll set up some rags, make sure we don't get it on things we don't want to. All right, so we're set up on the other side of the bike. Of course, he's got his vice grips pinching that line. Then we've got the other hose there that's open. That goes to the gas jug on the other side. And then now he's gonna start removing this pinch clamp. And this is a stock Harley pinch clamp you can see right there. All right, and so there's a couple ways to go with these stock Harley pinch clamps. Keep them on hand because you do damage them when you take them off. He's just using a screwdriver to stick in there, and you can just loosen them up because that's really all you're doing is pinching them down. If you have angle cutters, large angle cutters, you can just cut them off too. Like I say, just keep these on hand. You can get them at your dealership. They're just pinch clamps. And he'll just start making some room and play, and you can see that line's getting loose now. Okay, so everything's set up. Lurch is going to start. He's got his line ready. He's going to pop the one off the nipple there. And yes, you are going to lose fuel. There's no way around it, guys. So do the best you can. Make sure you have rags down and stuff like that. So he popped it there. You can see he's getting his line that goes to his gas jug on the other side. Popped right back on that little nipple. And he's just basically doing a swap is what he's doing. You can see he's working it on there. So now he's got that. Good to go. Not bad, not bad. Didn't lose too much fuel, but be as quick as you can. And now it's all draining out the other side, right down into that fuel jug. And he can take the gas cap off now because that'll open it up and it'll help it drain quicker. All right, and so Lurch is just lifting up the back of the tank. You'll want to do this just for a few seconds. Make sure you're getting all the residual fuel up front and draining down into that gas jug. That way it'll be completely empty. Okay, and remember this is a crossover, so we've still got fuel kind of in the other side of the tank. These are just little barbed nipples, so to speak, double male, and they're just 1/4 inch. You can get them at any hardware store or automotive store. But we've just got our gas jug over on this side now, and he's putting that little barbed double male on our 1/4 inch line. And then he's going to plug it into that crossover line right there, you can see. And then we'll take the vice grips off, and that'll allow us to drain this side of the tank. All right, and he's just removing his vice grips now that we've got that. And we'll get the rest of the fuel out of the other side of that tank. It'll be completely dry. All right, and the tank's pretty much drained. We've got most of the fuel out of it, enough where it's not going to be dripping out us. He's sliding the tank back a little bit to expose this wire down here. Because before we can pull it off, he's got to pop this plug. And that's just a little wire guide. He's just popping up out of the wire guide so he can have some extra slack. And then he can work on getting this plug out. There we go. That exposes the plug he needs. One hand got it out there, so good to go. We can take the tank off. All right, now the tank's mostly empty. And we got the wire unplugged. We can just lift that tank right off the bike here.